10 Best Places to Visit in Egypt. Hello Displorers, welcome to another exciting video presented to you by Displore. In this video, we shall be taking you to the northern part of Africa to show you the 10 best places to visit in Egypt. Egypt, officially the Arab Republic of Egypt, is a country spanning the northeast corner of Africa and the southwest corner of Asia by a land bridge formed by the Sinai Peninsula. Egypt is a Mediterranean country bordered by Gaza Strip and Israel to the northeast, the Gulf of Aqaba and the Red Sea to the east, Sudan to the north, and Libya to the west. Egypt has one of the longest histories of any country, tracing its heritage back to the 6th to 4th millennia BCE. Considered the cradle of civilization, ancient Egypt saw some of the earliest developments of writing, agriculture, urbanization, organized religion, and central government. Egypt's long and rich cultural heritage is an integral part of its national identity, which has endured and often assimilated various foreign influences, including Greek, Persian, Roman, Arab, Ottoman, Turkish, and Nubian. Egypt was an early and important center of Christianity, but was largely Islamized in the 7th century and remains a predominantly Muslim country, and Arabic is its official language. With over 100 million inhabitants, with a great majority of its people living near the banks of River Nile, an area of about 40,000 kilometers square, where the only arable land is found. If you are new here, welcome! Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Tourism is one of the most important sectors in Egypt's economy. More than 12.8 million tourists visited Egypt, providing revenues of nearly $11 billion. The tourism sector employs about 12% of Egypt's workforce thanks to its rich history, diverse culture, and natural environment, not forgetting the people of Egypt. There are dozens and dozens of touristic sites in Egypt, but in this video, we will look at the 10 best places to visit in Egypt. Number 10. Egyptian Museum. To start up with the best places to visit in Egypt, let's start with a place which sums up the life of this great country from its past, present, and gives a good view of the future. The Egyptian Museum found in Cairo. This museum holds most of Egypt's history with its confines, especially the golden archaeological glory of famous treasures from King Tutankhamun's tomb. From jewelry, handcrafts, and ceramics which the ancient child ruler thought were important are displayed in this museum. The ageless golden face of the popular king, royal artifacts, and the royal mummies exhibit tell tales about Egyptian history. The faded pink mansion is home to a dazzling amount of exhibits. It's a higgledy-piggledy place with little labeling on offer and not much chronological order, but that's half of its old-school charm. Every corner you turn here is home to some wonderful piece of ancient art or statuary that would form a highlight of any other museum. Number 9. South Sinai. Egypt's center for beach fun is the South Sinai region on the Sinai Peninsula. Sharm el-Sheikh is a European-style resort full of luxury hotels, international restaurants, and bags of entertainment options. The Hab is a low-key beach town with a budget traveler heart, which is just as much about desert excursions and adventures as the sea. Up the coast between the port town of Nuweiba and the border town of Taba are the bamboo hut retreats that offer complete getaway from all the hassles of life. Wherever you choose, the South Sinai is all about diving with the Red Sea. It is one of the top diving destinations in the world, and the South Sinai region is home to most of the best diving sites. Number 8. Abu Simbel. Even in a country festooned with temples, the UNESCO preserved site Abu Simbel is something special. This is Ramses II's great temple, adorned with colossal statuary standing guard outside and with an interior sumptuously decorated with wall paintings. Ramses built the famous temple as a sign of his authority over the Nubians. Justly famous for its megalithic proportions, Abu Simbel is also known as the incredible temple of Nefertari, which is right next to the Abu Simbel temple. From 1964 to 1968, in a relocation process which took almost 4 years, the UNESCO relocated the whole site for tourists to still enjoy its view in order to avoid the Abu Simbel from disappearing under the water to the Aswan Dam. Number 7. Alexandria. The most European of Egypt's cities, Alexandria, has a history that not many others can match. Founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BC, home of Cleopatra and Razzmatazz, renegade city of the Mediterranean, for much of its life, this seaside city has appealing days gone by atmosphere that can't be beaten. It is the second largest city and leading seaport in Egypt. Many of Alexandria's most famous historic sites, including the Lighthouse of Alexandria and a library that housed more than 500,000 books, which were destroyed by devastating earthquakes. In the years since, the city has been pieced back together into an overcrowded but vibrant coastal town. Although today there are few historic remnants of its illustrious past fitted in songs and books, this is a place made for aimless, strolling along the seashore corniche, cafe hopping, souk shopping, and an experience peculiar to it. Number 6. Siwa Oasis. The Siwa Oasis is nestled within the Western Desert. While it may seem like a mirage out of a movie, you can rest assured that that spot is real. Located over 500 kilometers from Cairo, the oasis consists of thousands of scenic date palms, olive groves, and freshwater springs. Home to just 25,000 Berber people, nearby Siwa town is one of the most remote settlements in Egypt. Its isolation is all part of its appeal, and many visitors travel to Siwa Oasis for exactly that getaway. Take your time exploring the glorious finds around the oasis, such as Cleopatra's Pool, a natural hot spring that's ideal for swimming. Those interested in uncovering some of the region's history should visit the ruins of the Temple of Ammon, with its only remaining inscribed wall, and the Temple of the Oracle that stands strong despite many attempts to destroy it. This western desert's most picturesque town is centered on the ruins of a vast mud brick citadel that dominates the view. Number 5. White Desert. Egypt's cookiest natural wonder is the White Desert, where surreally shaped chalk mountains have created what looks like a snowy wonderland in the middle of the arid sand. The landscapes here look like something out of a science fiction movie, with blindingly white borders and iceberg-like pinnacles. For desert fans and adventurers, this is the ultimate bird playground, with its white chalk-like mountains and endless white sand. Number 4. Aswan. Egypt's southernmost city, Aswan, is another major city nestled along the banks of the Nile River. Tranquil and set upon the winding curves of the Nile, it is a way to enjoy Egypt in the most chilled way, alternative to big cities like Luxor or Cairo. Backed by orange-hued dunes, this is the perfect place to stop and unwind for a few days and soak up the chilled-out atmosphere. Take the river ferry across to Elephantine Island and stroll the colorful streets of the Nubian villages. Ride a camel to the desert monastery of Saint Simon on the east bank, or just drink endless cups of tea on one of the riverboat restaurants while watching the Latin-sailed feluccas drift past. There are plenty of historic sites here and numerous temples nearby, but one of Aswan's most popular things to do is simply kicking back and watching the river life go by. Although its own monuments are minor compared to Luxor's, Aswan is the base for excursions to the temples of Philae and Kabasha and to the Sun Temple of Ramses II at Abu Simbel. It is also the best starting point for excursions to the temples of Kamumbo and Edfu between Aswan and Luxor. Aswan is famous for its granite quarries that were used to build Luxor's mini obelisks. The city is small enough to explore on foot, but other alternatives for getting around include horse and carriage rides, boat cruises, and feluccas, the most relaxing form of travel. Number 3. Cairo. The dusty capital city is one of the most sprawling cities on earth, home to more than 17 million people. Built on the banks of the River Nile, Cairo is a medieval Islamic city with an eternal hazy horizon and beige-colored buildings, topped with TV satellites. Built near the ancient capital city of Memphis, modern Cairo is a popular starting point for cruises up the Nile and for explorations of the pyramids at Giza, just outside the city's limits. Explore the fascinating Islamic architecture, such as the Al-Azhar Mosque, and the interesting Coptic sites in Old Cairo, such as the Hanging Church with its glass floor. The Egyptian Museum is a highlight on any Cairo itinerary, and while many of its most celebrated artifacts are often displayed in other international museums, there's still plenty of Egyptian history to be uncovered here. When you're tired of Cairo's historical sites, get a true taste of Egypt by immersing yourself in everyday life and embrace the crowds while shopping at one of the city's chaotic markets like the Khan al-Khalili Bazaar. Number 2. Luxor's Karnak Temple and the Valley of the Kings. Famed for the Valley of the Kings, Karnak Temple and the Memorial Temple of Hatshepsut, the Nile-side town of Luxor, which means palaces, found in Upper Egypt, has a glut of tourist attractions. Surrounded by golden desert, it was once a dynastic and religious capital of the Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom of Egypt. While the East Bank brims with vibrant souk action, the quaint West Bank is home to a bundle of domes and temples that has been called the biggest open-air museum in the world. Spend a few days here exploring the colorful wall art of tombs and gazing in awe at the colossal columns in the temples, and you'll see why Luxor continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists. The beautifully illuminated Luxor Temple is a particularly stunning temple to explore at night. On the other side of the Nile, the West Bank boasts the whitewashed scenery of the Valley of the Kings, home to many elaborate and colorfully muralled tombs, pits, and burial chambers. Number 1. Pyramids of Giza. The Giza Plateau is probably one of the most recognizable destinations on Earth. Located on a desert plateau to the west of the capital of Cairo, Giza is its own city, but in recent years, it has grown so much that it feels like another district of ever-expanding Cairo. While once a humble carriage track, Giza is now one of the touristiest parts of Egypt, home to upmarket hotels, big-name restaurants, giant shopping malls, and pulsing nightclubs. But most famously, Giza is the closest part of the city to the pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx, which is why most people center themselves around this neighborhood for at least a few days during their trip to Cairo. The three main pyramids of Giza are ancient necropolises that were built as tombs for three Egyptian pharaohs, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. You can take a camel ride out into the desert and get a photo with all of the pyramids in the background before heading to the Sphinx for the stock standard Sphinx kissing tourist photo. If you happen to be staying close to Giza overnight, don't miss the pyramid sound and light show. There you have it, Displorers. Those were the 10 best places to visit in Egypt. Thanks for watching this video. If you want us to cover any of your top 10 topics, leave a suggestion in the comment section and we will do well to grant your request. Also, if you did enjoy this video, do well to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.